Stocks have rebounded from a tough 2022, but investors are still feeling the pain. The average retail investor's portfolio is down about 27% since November of 2021. Since then, stocks have staged 4 double-digit bear market rallies. This rally has been the best since about last August, but with equities near similar bear market rally peaks, I expect investors to remain hesitant to raise their risk exposure after getting burned multiple times. In addition, we still have a growing recession risk that will become a stronger headwind in the near future. And as earnings season gets underway, the S&P 500 is projected to post about a 7% decline in first quarter earnings from a year ago. So, to the companies posting lower earnings, for all you do, this bud's for you. Today we're going to look at one chart, which is the 6-month daily chart on the spiders, the SPY, and the close on Friday was 412.46. So before I continue, remember that tomorrow is tax day, but because it falls on the weekend, you actually have until Monday. So spend your money wisely. We don't look at the daily chart all that often, but I think we should do that today. Looking here, you can see that we have had a couple cycles, actually 3 cycles from the bottom to the top. We topped there, came on down, another step up to this point here, and then we rolled over at that point. Came here, it was another step up at that point, but right now we haven't been able to exceed the previous high over here, and things are starting to get a bit old. So to me, it looks like the possibility of a rollover at this point here. We'll have to watch that into next week, perhaps the week after, but it's looking a little bit tepid. Moving down into the oscillators, here we have volume, and you can see that volume is kind of declining, not within the last 3 days, but 2 of those were down days. Moving on down here into the MAC, this is what I like to take a look at. And as you can see here, a number of things. First of all, the first rollover, you can see there, of course, the bottoming and basing with then a run up to this point here. And of course, it rolled over. Fast line came back down through the slow line, down to this point here. It attempted another bottoming and basing, was successful, and ran back on up. But again, as we saw in the price chart, this is looking a bit hesitant. Also, as you can see, this top here versus this top here versus which I think is going to be a top rolling over here, you can see a slight decline in the move moving on down through there. Let's go to the histogram. You can see pretty much the same thing. This height there, a little bit higher than here. Of course, this is about the same as it was back here in January through February, but as you saw in the MAC, it doesn't look all that strong, at least in my opinion. Moving here, price rate of change, pretty much the same thing. Nice cycle moving on through, so I think this is somewhat predictive, and it's my opinion that within the next week or two, we'll probably roll over. Moving down here into the RSI, really we haven't moved up into that overbought territory above 80 to that 100 level since well back here. So we seem to be moving within this range, the bottom range there, and then of course the top range more or less through there like that. So we'll roll over, most likely. I think that's the probability. We'll come back down here and try again, perhaps. We'll just have to watch that. These stochastics also show a nice cycle. The upward move, down, up, down, back on up. So I think the expectations are for a downward move coming relatively soon. Same thing here in the Williams. Now, when things get to the point where it looks like you can predict it, that's when things changes. So always keep that in the back of your mind. Back up here to the price chart. One last look. I think we're running out of steam here, so be prepared for some downside. I would say the risks on the downside are greater than the upside for now, just temporarily. So I wouldn't do any buying in this move up here unless you have an exceptional story on some stock. For now, I would just wait and watch. Wait for it to come back down, and at that point in time, using your patience and prudence, you make the choice. And for today, that's ChewDog Charts. Thank you.